Hi, Becky. I hope all is well. You're feeling good. Um, I have got some things for you to do this week and some feedback on your literature review. It's going to seem like a lot, but I'm going to try to break it down, and you don't have to do all of this now. So here is number one, the one thing that I do want you to do for Module 5. I think you need a section on research and SFL teaching because what you're trying to argue is for a case for using genre pedagogy with your classroom. And so to strengthen that, you need to show how others have done that. And these are the articles I'm suggesting you refer to are ones that I'm sure you've already read, and you probably have a couple others that you're building on your reading log. So basically what it would look like is this would be the header. And then you could start like this. There are a number of ways that teachers have used SFL in their classroom, and then I would organize it around what they did. So instead of saying, she did this and she did this, she did this, look at what they actually did. So for example, they used it to teach different genres. She did that here. She used it to empower students to write for a certain purpose. This was the Reclaiming Recess one. And she, and she was using it to, I've got the reference for that, by the way. She was using it to draw attention to language or to teach grammar. So you're framing it around these things, and then you're citing this as the work. So this is again, a skill that I want you to have developed in this class about how to kind of do this sort of writing. So it just needs to be, again, it doesn't need to be very long, but I think that's going to be an important piece. Then this is consider reorganizing your current literature review. Now I know I looked through and Annette looked totally happy with what you did, so you could just leave it as is. However, I think that after you write your method and discussion, it might be a good idea, again, if you have time, to kind of go back into that. And you're going to see here like a lot of feedback from me that's basically explaining kind of what I mean with that. So again, I don't want you to freak out and think you have to do this now. But basically what I was thinking is that it probably was really hard for you to actually put the stages on for this week because it didn't totally fit. Because what you have is you're basically explaining what the theory of language is, which is different than kind of reviewing the literature. So kind of have a theoretical literature review, so it looks a little different. So here's how you currently have it outlined, and then I will suggest an alternate way. So you have this sort of introduction, and this is your topic, but then you don't totally have a thesis. You say bring awareness, but that's not actually a position. Then you have this really great sentence at the end that I thought might be a position. That and again, I think this is probably what your whole thing is about. So then but because it's not clear, then these different parts, they don't hang together really well, and they kind of look a little bit like they're kind of thrown together. So you have and first of all, it is really, really hard to concisely explain what SFL is and how we use it in the classroom. So you've made a really good stab at it, but it's definitely something where students need to revise in order to kind of get it. And I struggle kind of putting it together too. I really like the way Meg Gebhardt frames it, so I always go back and kind of look, so how did she do that? But anyway, what you have could be kind of redone. Anyway, I'll show you that in a minute. So this is kind of what you have. So you've got this, and then you have this kind of sort of synthesis paragraph, which where you're kind of that's what you're trying to do. I forgot to put that in here. Is you're in general trying to explain what it is, and that's hard to do. Then you go into what I call like an aspect of the theory, which is register. Now, register genres are they're certainly related to register, but the way you have it, it's not kind of clear how that works. I think you could just probably take that out or put this part of your general kind of description of language. I would go right to genre and see how they did it here. But anyway, so then you have genre, and then you have part of it, which is the stages and phases, and part of it, which is social purpose. Then this is where, then you jump to functional grammar, and then you have the grammar versus functional grammar, and then you go into, um, sorry, then you go into um, the TLC. So again, I think, so here's how I think you can kind of reorganize that. And the other thing is, so because it's action research, you you can take a problem solution approach, and I think that's kind of where you're going with here, is that with the traditional way of teaching, you don't have the meta language to really teach the writing in the way that you want to. So here is a alternate kind of outline where you would start with the problem in my teaching I'm trying to address is, and that would be kind of your introduction before the literature review. And then you would say that this addresses the problem. I'm framing it like this, and you can still use genre pedagogy, but I'm framing it like this because I think it's clearer for what you're trying to do is basically you're using the teaching learning cycle, which comes from SFL. So SFL inspired the teaching learning cycle, and you're using it to teach a genre. So that might be a kind of a clearer way for you kind of to break it down. So let me say that again. So you're looking at teaching writing. You are looking for a way where you can focus more attention on language. You went to SFL because this is where you developed kind of your knowledge about language. Then there are certain ways, certain kind of types of pedagogy that are inspired through SFL theory, and one of them is the teaching learning cycle. This term also I got from Meg Gebhard. This is how she's framing the work that teachers are doing. So again, you can use it or you can stay with genre pedagogy. But either way, you would then start with basically this question, or what is genre pedagogy? And then here's how I kind of would break it down. It's a way of looking at language and education. And this is you could put your old section in here. It comes from the work of, starts with Halliday and then others, and this is, you could put part of your synthesis session here. And then here's where I would just go right to the part on genre, because I think that's the important part here. So then, how are you going to so then you would, genre is defined as, and this is where you can put the social purpose and your stages and phases, and then genre pedagogy is defined as, and this is in your conclusion, so I'd bring that up. Then this is your new section that I'm asking you to do. Then you're going to do the teaching learning cycle. So what is that? And you're going to put in your section there, and then that's the end of your literature review. Then you're going to go into what you did in your classroom. So this is your method section. Then you're going to have your findings, and then you're going to have your discussion and conclusion. So again, where I want you to focus this week is on this part here, and also writing. I think you should be starting writing up your methods and findings, and then go back and kind of reorganize. So not wanting you to do all of that. Let me just show you some comments that I put on your piece here. Again, it looks like a lot. Again, this is where I'm wanting you to have a thesis. This is the part that is not clear in terms of how it actually works as a theory of language. So this part needs revision. And then the rest, again, maybe just leave for now and then go back if you have time. I think you could adjust your tenor. So I think about your audience as scholars, and right here you're really writing directly to people who are going to try this in their classroom, which might be something you might do with this piece later, and then you could change it this way, but for me it's not as formal as I would want it, so that's why I put that yellow there. Okay, I'm going to leave it for that, and let me know if that's not clear, or if you start to get really worried. I don't want you to do that. And I will talk to you soon. Okay.